In this video I will prove that the Purple Orca Captain Lord Kaiser was most likely the previous 27th Wizard King before Lord Julius Novachrono took the position of the current Wizard King. I am going to show you multiple and crystal clear, undeniable evidence for this assumption, and that Kaiser may even take the temporary position of the new but old Wizard King, as Julius Novachrono's true identity has been publicly revealed. Black Clover, here in Yunami, the YouTube channel for anime and manga content. You probably think I'm talking total bullshit, but I guarantee you will change your mind after watching this video, as I will definitely prove my point. Let me know in the comments what you believe and we will see if I can convince you. This will only work if you really watch this video to the end, because the further you watch the video, the stronger the evidence, and only with a full picture you will understand my assumption that Kaiser was most likely the previous Wizard King. Let's begin. To understand why Kaiser was the 27th Wizard King, we just need to explain a few points. Who is Kaiser, the current situation in Black Clover, and the Black Clover exhibition. Let's start with Kaiser. Kaiser is the captain of the Purple Orca squad of the Magic Knights of the Clover Kingdom. He is a very tall and older man, currently 50 years old, definitely not an age suitable to be a Magic Knight, let alone the captain's position. To be a Magic Knight, and especially a captain, it takes immense amount of magic power, and as Theresa explained, with age the initial mana capacity of any mage, and with it the magic power, weakens. So if anyone think they can talk shit about Kaiser, she'll try to hit the gym in a few years when they are 50, because in Black Clover, unlike many other Shonen Jump shows, the old people actually get very weak over time, because mana is connected to life force, and as older you get, as weaker your life force, and therefore as lower your magic capacity, and with it as weaker your magic power. It's just like in real life. Unless you have your way to sustain your youth, it is completely normal that Kaiser ran out of mana after such a large attack, because as I said, he is 50 years old. This man is almost a grandpa. This is completely normal and actually pretty impressive. And now you are probably thinking, okay, but then how can a 50-year-old man become the next Wizard King? And that's a very good and fair question. So let's talk about this. But before we get to this topic, we need to talk a little bit about the position of the Wizard King or Queen itself. Now if we look at how many Wizard Kings have existed over a 500 years period, we can find with simple calculations that a Wizard King on average holds the position for about 17 years until a new Wizard King or Queen is selected. When we consider that a new Wizard King usually takes the position as the Wizard King around the age of 30, it becomes pretty clear that by around 50, almost every existing Wizard King has to pass the title to the next generation, because, as explained earlier, 50 years old mages just don't have enough mana anymore. Even Julius Novachrono with only 42 years began looking for the next Wizard King or Queen. This means there may have to be 2-3 previous Wizard Kings or Queens who are still alive, and one of them could be the current Purple Orca Captain Lord Kaiser. Let's assume for a second that Kaiser was really the 27th Wizard King. So if Julius was made the Wizard King about 10 years ago, when he was around 30, then Kaiser was around 40 years old at that time, which means that when Kaiser was looking for the next Wizard King, he was around the same age like Julius Novachrono today, who is already looking for the next Wizard King too. Due to the age difference, it is at least not impossible to assume that Kaiser was the 27th Wizard King, and makes it even more likely. Now let's talk about some general information that we have from Kaiser that is not necessarily mentioned in Black Clover. Based on his character profile, he was born on October 14, just one calendar day before Julius' birthday, October 15. Obviously not in the same year. But here's the interesting part about birthdays in Black Clover. Tabata confirmed in an interview that characters' birthdays are based on the day of their invention. This means that Tabata either invented Kaiser a day before Julius Novachrono was invented and just always intended to introduce him later, or he invented him at least a year later and by coincidence a calendar day before the calendar day on which he invented Julius years ago. But if we assume that Tabata invented Kaiser literally a day before he invented Julius, which incidentally is very likely since Tabata planned this story many years in the future, then it seems possible that he was thinking about the 27th Wizard King when he invented Kaiser before he invented the current Wizard King Julius Novachrono. The idea that Kaiser may have been the former Wizard King gets even stronger when we consider how Tabata chooses the names for his characters. In an interview, Tabata confirmed that the meaning of the names are important to the characters themselves. And to make the meaning less obvious and make the name sound nicer, he translates the keywords that describes the character into different languages and selects the words that sound good and are suitable as names. Tabata is a big fan of the German language and chooses German names for particularly important characters. For example, he gave Xerxes, the vice captain of the Purple Orcas, the last name Lügner, the German word for liar. This is not because Xerxes is an important character, but because Zora, who took Xerxes' identity, is important and he was lying about being the vice captain of the Purple Orca squad. Furthermore, all German names in Black Clover are assigned to extremely important characters. The name Licht, which means light in English, stands for light magic and shows the magic of Patri, who pretended to be Licht. The name Nacht, which means night in English, corresponds to Nacht shadow magic. Morgen, which means morning, refers to the opposite of the meaning of Nacht's name, which as already mentioned means night, and symbolizes the light of the sunrise, which refers to Morgen's magic ability, light magic. Liebe means love in English and refers to the love Lysita feels for her son, and shows the opposite of the hatred of the evil devils, and shows that not all devils are evil, just because they are a devil. And so the German name Kaiser means Emperor, the official name for the Wizard King in the manga, the so-called Magic Emperor. Now, if we take into account that Tabata uses keywords for names to describe his characters and uses other languages for the names to avoid obvious clues and to make the name sounds more beautiful, we can very easily reconstruct how he actually came to the name Kaiser. By the way, we have surpassed our limits again and reached 13,000 subscribers. Thank you, and if you want to join us too, all you have to do is to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so that you will always be kept up to date with the latest theories about Black Clover. We are planning extremely good theories in the next few videos. Let us continue. So to draw a quick conclusion, due to the age of Kaiser, it is possible that he was the previous Wizard King. His name suggests that he has something to do with the word Emperor, the official name for the military leader in the Clover Kingdom. It looks like Kaiser was invented just a day before Julius Novachrono, the current Magic Emperor, which may indicate a strong connection between Kaiser and Julius Novachrono's position as the Magic Emperor. And despite Kaiser's age of 50, Julius Novachrono still chose Kaiser as the Purple Orca captain of the Magic Knights, although normally the vice captain of a squad is responsible if the squad loses its captain, as we have seen in the case of the Golden Dawn or the Black Bulls. Of all the young and strong Magic Knights in the Purple Orca squad, even the vice captain himself, and throughout the entire kingdom, a 50-year-old retired man with wife and children was chosen to lead the squad, clearly indicating that Kaiser is, or at least was, a big deal at some point of time. Another undeniable fact is that when Fergolian Vermilion in the Elf Reincarnation Saga fought against Kaiser when he was possessed by an elf, Fergolian called Kaiser a lord, the name given to Wizard Kings. The only other character in the Clover Kingdom who is called a lord is Julius Novachrono. He is always referred to as Lord Julius. So tell me, why would the future head of the Vermilion family, one of the three royal families, call someone a lord who is a noble at best? It makes no sense. And that's not everything. He called Kaiser the ultimate shield of the kingdom. That sounds like a nickname that Kaiser had when he worked as a magic knight many years ago, before his retirement. And for me, a nickname like the ultimate shield of the kingdom belongs to a person who is literally the ultimate shield of the kingdom, and thus the person who was considered the strongest magic knight at that time. So if there's a Wizard King who is not even considered to be the current ultimate shield of a kingdom, it is very embarrassing. The Magic Emperor is the shield of the kingdom because they are the ultimate protection for the kingdom. So if there's a magic knight who is said to be the ultimate shield for the kingdom, then it's contradicting the meaning of the Wizard King. And the fact that Fergolian called Kaiser the ultimate shield of the kingdom shows that Kaiser was at one point of time the strongest magic knight and literally the ultimate shield of the Clover Kingdom. Definitely not at the time when Julius Novachrono was the current Wizard King. It must have been at least 20 years ago, when Julius was only 20 years old, 10 years before he became the Wizard King, and therefore Kaiser was 30 years old. We always have to consider the fact that with increasing age, the mana capacity and therefore also the magic power of every magic knight decreases drastically. So Kaiser could have been extremely strong 20 years ago. There must be a reason why Julius asked Kaiser to join the Magic Knights, even though Kaiser was already retired. And of course, you are probably thinking, if Kaiser was really the previous Wizard King, then why does nobody recognize him? And the answer is simple. If Kaiser was really the previous Wizard King, then he was the Wizard King about 20 years ago. Now 20 years later, he's old, fat and has an ugly beard. What I mean by that is that in 20 years, the appearance of a person can change a lot. and Kaiser, based on what Fuegoleon said, doesn't like to stand out, which means most of the time when he was retired he was trying not to be recognized as the previous Wizard King, and slowly he was forgotten. Of course, the name of a Wizard King is not forgotten, but Kaiser's name was never made public when he first appeared at the Star Festival, and Kaiser has not appeared in public since then because, as mentioned, he does not like to stand out. That said, even if people can remember his name, the name was never publicly revealed, and no one remembers a fat old Wizard King with a beard. Now that we have pretty much confirmed that there's at least a very big possibility that Kaiser was the previous Magic Emperor who chose Julius Novachrono as his successor, let's talk about the possibility of Kaiser becoming the next old new Wizard King again. In one of our last videos we said it was strange that Kaiser did not leave the Clover Kingdom with all the other captains and was not listed as a captain in the Black Clover exhibition. We even assumed he might be a traitor, but now after all the research I have done, it makes perfectly sense why Kaiser refused to leave the Clover Kingdom. A former Wizard King will obviously feel the need to stay in the Clover Kingdom to protect the kingdom, even if he is retired in his position and especially if he is aware of the current Wizard King situation. The fact that Kaiser refused to leave the kingdom shows that he could really be the previous Wizard King, Lord Kaiser, the kingdom's ultimate shield. And the reason he was not listed as one of the captains in the Black Clover exhibition is not because he is a traitor, but that listing him as a captain would most likely be disrespectful and demote his actual position as the previous Wizard King. Of course, there's the small possibility that he might be a traitor as well, but after my research I'm certain that this is not the case. And this fits perfectly with how Fuegoleon described Kaiser, saying he expected Lord Kaiser to step into the role of a captain for the sake of his subordinates. Fuegoleon has literally admitted that Kaiser was above the rank of the captain before he stepped into this position because of his subordinates. The only higher position in the Magic Knight system above a captain is the Wizard King, but since Lord Julius is the current active Wizard King, Lord Kaiser can logically only be the previous Wizard King. And now, the reason why Kaiser could become the next new old temporary Wizard King is that all Magic Knight captains are currently in the Spade Kingdom and that they could all possibly lose to the Devils and be forced as a result to flee the continent because it may be impossible to return to the Clover Kingdom. Then the only available captain in the Clover Kingdom is the Purple Orca captain Lord Kaiser. Who else would become the Wizard King if no captain is returning? Please let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Do you think Kaiser could be really the previous Wizard King? And if not, let me know why you think so. And do you think he might take the position of the temporary Wizard King till a new Wizard King will be chosen? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, it would help us a lot. And if you want more Black Clover content, subscribe to our channel. We will upload many amazing theories very soon. Don't forget to activate the notification bell, otherwise you will not receive a notification when a new video has been published and you definitely don't want to miss the upcoming theories. Check our video on Asta's father and check out the True Evil playlist in which we try to solve the mystery of Black Clover. Thank you for watching and see you next time, here in Yonami, the anime and manga channel. Bye!